everyone. It's good to be here again after a very, very long time. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome conversation today. Um, as you all know, uh, for those who are just listening to me for the first time, my name is Peter Ayeni. I'm a software engineer at Netasia. Netasia is a security company. We build AI defensive mechanism for enterprise. So if your organizations need uh, anything on AI bot security, please check out netashare.com. We have amazing products there. I'm really excited to work with great teams. So, and aside from that, also one of the things I do in the community actually is to help people who want to get started in tech uh, to 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 pursue their careers, to inspire people, to give people mentorship, and also resources support to be able to pursue their career in tech. So that's something I've been doing out of passion, and it's actually through my own love for technology itself. And if you ask like why do I do what I do, it's because my journey into tech, for some people that have read my stories, wasn't like a straightforward one. It was really, really tough and hard. Started out from Nigeria, working in a cyber cafe, so to working in the UK, and I've worked with so many innovative companies and also working with an amazing global company right now. So it's like a duty for me. Not duty, but I just feel like it's an heavy weight for me to like help a lot of other people who want to start that journey into tech. So that's why I've been doing break into tech for a very long time. Even though this year things have a little bit slowed down because yeah, I've been quite busy, but I want to start this new journey to help people get started in web development. So today we are going to be talking about the web development ecosystem, how do you set up your system and tools and resources that you can use to get started. And depending on the number of people uh, who responded, I want to continue this session by maybe after this, we go into HTML and then a little bit of CSS, maybe some JavaScript, some insight into frameworks, how to host your website, domain, server, all of those technicalities and stuff like that. I'll basically just um, have some kind of guidelines of the things we can talk about. So just like share my own experience from things I've built, some uh, so that it can help you in your journey. And not just that alone, you can ask questions about interviews, how to maybe get your first internship, how to start out, and stuff like that. And also, I provide mentorship on ADP List. I'm one of the top mentors on ADP List. I've been mentoring on ADP List at the beginning for more than 2 years now. I give my free times on weekends to mentor people from across the world. I've mentored people from different countries actually. Yeah, so and it's been like something of joy for me because when I started in tech, then getting mentoring and mentorship was so hard. It's so hard to like talk to people. You try to reach out to mentors uh, and people are not like really responsive. I understand some people can be so busy. For me, also, I'm very busy myself. I understand it could be, but at the same time, out of all of my busy routine, work, family commitment, and stuff, I still try to put some times in place for mentorship. So if you love to be mentored by me, just check ADP list. You can check on my LinkedIn. You can see ADP list or just search Peter Ayeni on ADP list. Definitely, you see me among the top rated ADP list mentors. Okay, so that's just the background about why I'm doing what I'm doing and stuff like that. And there's a lot of, I believe that this is the best time to get into tech, even though there is a lot of like AI and people are worried about jobs, opportunities, and things like that. So the thing is that that will not go away. Definitely, it will not go away. AI is not going anywhere. It's something that we need to embrace. It's just like imagine several years ago when we used to have like subsistence farmers and people use oxen and stuff like that. And some people start like, oh, maybe we can use cutlasses and hoes and then iron and stuff like that comes into the game. And before you know it, we started having like tractors and things like that. So change and technology will always evolve, and we shouldn't be scared of them. We shouldn't say that, oh, because there is AI, now I'm not going to learn tech, I'm going to go back to the farm or things like that. Like there's still a lot of opportunities out there with AI. AI will actually help you to even become more better developer. There is no better time to learn how to code, how to build tools, how to build things than now. Because right now, imagine now we have AI mentors, we have AI teachers. If you don't know anything or you don't have understanding of something, you have somewhere you can quickly ask and you can have breakdowns. So it's a very important learning tools. And also, like they said, AI still need prompting, right? So you need to have the base knowledge about the industry for you to be able to use AI effectively. Like for instance, if I said we want to add validation to a form, and if you're not a web developer, if you don't understand how this thing works, even if you tell AI about validations, you may not understand the core of what is going on in the code that AI produced for you. So that base knowledge is still very important. Definitely, yeah, organization can need more fewer people to work, but at the same time, AI will give birth to more companies, more organizations. And if you've known me for a very long time, if you've been following me, I tell people all the time, uh, technology skills is not just for you to get a job. It's good if you are gainfully employed. I'm gainfully employed and I appreciate my job and people I work with. I love it. But at the same time, also technology give you opportunity to build things that you care about and you love. So you can contribute. Technology give you wings to fly. Like you could dream, you could think about ideas, and you can bring into life. And that's the power of technology. So, and today, even though we are going to be talking about technology and stuff like that, we are going to be focusing on web development. And there is a reason I always advise beginners who are going to start coding to start with web development, because the reason is because accessibility and cost of entry. Web development is so easy to get started with. When I built my first website in 2006, 2007, I remember it was in a cyber cafe, a very Pentium 2 or Pentium 1 computer. And then there is no even sophisticated IDE like we have it today. I write my first program using a notepad. I wrote my HTML table. Like there is no IntelliSense, there is no guide, anything. And but I was just so excited that I was able to transfer a code in a text on Notepad to a web page that someone can view. And that was liberating. And that was the magic for me. It was like a light bulb. Since then, I never looked back. I was like, yeah, this technology is something I want to do. And I persisted till then. So web development give you opportunity to start building today. Like you don't have to wait for tomorrow. So like unlike maybe machine learning that you need a lot of computers, you need like a lot of AI companies are looking for more powerful AI processor or CPU or GPU or all of those things. For web, you don't need all of those computing power. You just need a modest computer, you need an IDE. We're going to go into that, and then you need a web browser, and then you can start coding for the web today. And if you put some more hours to it, before you know it, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you have a simple web page. You start building things that you'll be proud of that you can show your friends, and it's just so amazing. And so that's the reason I said to people, web development is always a nice place to start because the resources you need to get started in the web is so little. And aside from that, it's rewarding. If you look at it today, a lot of websites, even AI, ChatGPT launched on the web before the mobile app. That tells you that innovation starts from the web most of the time. ChatGPT launched on the web, and then uh, the the app came in later. So welcome, guys. So if you have any questions, please interrupt. Just put it on the chat. I'm going to pick it up definitely, and So someone was asking if we will have the class saved. Definitely, there's going to be the recording for this, but it's not just about the recording, you watching it back. I think the most important thing here is if you're here and you are able to get all of the information and you can ask questions, that will go a long way to help you more than just watching recordings, because recordings, there are a lot of resources online on web development. I can't, so, and I will talk about a lot of them today. But the essence of this is that you have someone that can listen to you, that can give you direct feedback based on what you want, and then also you can have you can get your questions, like, is there anything that been bothering you, is there something that you don't understand in the ecosystem, so you could ask that question directly, and then I can give you a response to that, and I think that will be a lot of value in that. So the same thing, yeah, it's being recorded, like I said, is being recorded and it's going to be available after this. All right, so let's continue. Definitely. So yeah, there's no need for so much introduction. You know me, I'm Peter Ayeni. So I love make the world a better place by helping people get started in tech. That's what I'm passionate about. I believe tech have the power to change our world. So I've helped people from across the world. I've been a mentor, a technical mentor with Udacity, so with a lot of students from around the globe, and I've like help a lot of students achieve a lot of amazing things in tech. I've helped mentor people who have gone to get job in some amazing companies. So across the continent, which is in Africa, US, UK, Europe, and other countries around the world, even in Asia. So it's always my joy to be able to help people to achieve their dream in tech, or even in social entrepreneurship also. So if you have like an idea you think you want to build and you're not sure the direction to go, yeah, definitely I could help you in any way. So if you need mentoring in that way, you could just like, yeah, book a session with me. Definitely, I will, because yeah, I did have uh, some business masters from some of the best school in the world, Kellogg Business School. So thanks to the US government, and it was really amazing. So that knowledge I love to share with a lot of people also. And yeah, so the thing is that when you look at technology, one of the main things that people that want to get started are always scared that, is it meant for me or just for some extra talented people? Do I have to be math genius? Do I have to be, I don't know how they measure IQ or something like that? Do I have to be to study science or physics and all of these things for me to be a great programmer? Or to be for me to be a coder. Like anytime we see all of this code in computers, we are always very scared, and people that puts a lot of people off, especially people who are just trying to get started. So for me, is that I won't say that it's easy or it's going to be simple, but the thing is that it doesn't matter what you want to learn from the first time, it will look daunting. Like for instance, look at people that ride bicycle, on two legs. Like, wow, how do they do it? If you have not learned how to ride a bike, it will be tricky, like whatever the fall. And even some people go beyond that and they do, is it a mini cycle or something, like a cycle that have just one tire, and they ride on that. That's another level. So for me, I think the thinking is, when you think about it, like, uh, how do I learn new things? If you look at children, the way they learn, because children doesn't have all of this inhibition that we have about learning. So when it comes to learning, I used to think about it about a child. When child wants to walk, they try to stand up and take a step and they fall. They take a step and they fall. But they don't say, because I fell now, I won't try again tomorrow. So the idea is familiarity with this stuff. When you see code for the first time, it looks scary, but you just need to persist and familiar yourself with it. And you're going to fail, you're going to have a lot of errors, you're going to figure things out. And thank God today there is AI. Before, when you have a bug, You put it on Google, you're trying to see if someone else have had that same problem. Sometimes you're lucky, you're able to find, sometimes you may not. But now with AI, it's much more granular, it's much more simpler. Like AI can even, if there is no answers, AI can help you to figure some of these things out, at least get you somewhere. So, and that is the idea of programming. So, don't think about it like you have to have a special talent in math or stuff. You don't have to. For me, I think about it about interest. Like people that will go far in this are people that are persist, that are not afraid of making mistakes. People that want to go further and further, to be able to learn. So there is this movie that I watched about. So in that movie, it goes to and there is this quote there that he said that what I say is true. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great. So the same thing, I just like paraphrase that quote to say what I say is true. Anyone can code, but only the fearless can be great. So anyone can learn to code, but you have to be. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of crashes and stuff. Like you're not going to destroy your computer anyway. It's just programming. And the thing is that programming are like Lego bricks, right? When you see a big gigantic program that you don't understand, it's because all of those things, like it's the same thing like when you see a big book that someone wrote, you're like, wow, how will I finish all of this book? How did someone come up with all of this? So a gigantic book doesn't come off at once. It was someone writing gradual and adding one chapter, one page, one paragraph, from one paragraph to a page, from a page to two page to chapters, from one chapters to three chapters to 10 chapters, whatever the book is. And that is the same way programming works. Programming starts from one line of code to a functions, to a module, to a whole ecosystem of codes. You understand? So you just have to be able to like peel off the layers one after the other, and you'll see that it's not as hard than you think. Yeah, in the beginning it could be intimidating, but just continue. Okay, just persist. Okay, so before I continue, I want to answer some questions here. Yeah, Adeboye, so you said that is it okay to be proficient with Python before learning JavaScript? So yeah, so it's like a chicken or egg questions anyway. But when you talk of proficiency, it depends. Like you're comfortable with Python, and then you want to learn JavaScript. I think it's okay. There is nothing wrong with it at all. When I started coding in the early days, I think I learned like is it Visual Basic? Yeah, I started with like Visual Basic, and then some ASP at the time, and then PHP started growing and stuff like that. So and then I started picking up PHP, but I didn't really like PHP so much because of the syntax of PHP. And then Python was growing and was friendly at the time, like how many years ago, and then I go into Python because Python was just like very beginner friendly, and Ruby on Rails also. I think I learned some Ruby on Rails. So, and the thing is that I think the most important thing about programming is that if you understand the basic structure of how programming works, it will be much more easier for you to learn any programming you want. So, like if you are proficient in Python, transferring that mental model and learning how JavaScript works can be much easier also because yeah, it's only syntax and how they are written that is different, but how like functions, method, call, and everything works the same. But the ecosystem can be different. Like in Python, they use pip, and then in JavaScript they use npm. So understanding the ecosystem and how they work and the packages and stuff like that can be a little bit different. So, but the idea is that I used to say like, yeah, learn the fundamentals of programming of software engineering. You understand, and then you could apply that fundamentals to whatever you want to learn, and it makes learning more easier for you. Like the example is this, for when you're in primary school, what they can't teach you every word in English when you're learning English, right? They teach you the basics. they teach you the basics like phonetics, the letters A to Z, and stuff like that. And then as you grow, you start to see patterns, and then you use that patterns to be able to build any kind of words that you want to learn. And that's the thing. And some words you get, some when you don't get it, you use the dictionary or things like that. So, and that's how it works. So learn the basics of programming. You can use any programming language to learn the basics. You can use that JavaScript. You can use Python. Python is very friendly for beginners. JavaScript also is very friendly for beginners. So yeah, and like I say, JavaScript is good to start but difficult to master. But at least when you be a professional in JavaScript, you can be productive actually. And then learning JavaScript is a continuous process anyway because the language is malleable and there's so many things happening in the language all the time. So it's really innovative. Yeah, so that's it. I think I hope that answered the questions. So another question is, how do I get good materials to get started with web development? Yeah, I'm going to be sharing good materials that I think, but just before I forgot, I think check out freecodecamp.com. It's a platform I recommend a lot to a lot of people who want to start coding. uh Free code camp is very very good, like very good. So try out free code camp. Very important. I would definitely recommend that everyone here, if you don't have a free code camp account, just sign up for it. It's really great. uh, it's really great. So freecodecamp.org is amazing because it has everything you need to learn. So freecodecamp.org. So just sign up. They have different curriculum. They have project based and they have step by step and they have a very good support. So try freecodecamp.org for web development. Everything you need for web development and in freecodecamp is so amazing. All right. So yeah. So let's continue on that. So one more question and then we go. Is it advisable to learn coding via a video course or a book? So, free code camp, you can see it. I've put it on the scrolling bar, freecodecamp.org. So, if you see the scrolling bar, I've put it there now. Yeah, free code camp. That is it. Yeah. So, that is it. So, that's what I put there. So, free code camp. Yeah, I think that's it. If you just Google it, it's going to come definitely. So freecodecamp.org. That is it. That's it. So go to freecodecamp.org and yes, put in register. So the curriculums are like stack one after the other. Just start from the top and then they guide you. They have the HTML, CSS, the beginning. So you learn how to use HTML, CSS to build basic websites. And then the next one is JavaScript data structure. So that one you'll be able to learn JavaScript, how to add dynamic stuff to your web application. And then the next layer is how to use framework. And also they have Node. So I'm going to talk about them a little bit so that you can get clarity when you start to learn by yourself. And some of these things also, I think we are going to, yeah, I will do some introduction to HTML, live coding, so that you understand the basics. So when you are learning, because like it's like a learning reinforcement, right? So if you do a session, maybe the next one will be on HTML introduction. So I introduce you to all of the HTML syntax, how it works, why, and all the best practices. And then you go back and you go and learn it again and read. The thing is that don't feel like I learned something now and that's okay. So you can learn and relearn, relearn and you relearn and you learn and you relearn. That is what learning reinforcement is until you get the concept. And when you get it, that's how it sticks with you forever. So there's these questions like, is it advisable to learn coding via a video course or a book? So the preferences is there is none that is not good enough. Both of them are good, but it just depends on you. So for instance, if you're watching a YouTube tutorials on YouTube, for example, a video, and then you're watching and then there's an advert that comes about something and you see it pop up something and then you are distracted and then you're not focused. So that could be, but if you can discipline yourself, you can learn via video, go for it. But there are some people that it's much more easier for them to learn in books that they can't like for me, if I want to get a concept and I really want to get that concept, I would like a book without distraction, so I can read to get concepts, and then I can, when I'm reading, I like speak to myself, understand, draw, and then highlight something, just to like get the concept. And then after getting the concept, I can then go to like, okay, go and practice it myself. So for getting core concept of an idea or something, I think books are very good because they allow you to focus and minimal distraction. But sometimes I use video also. It is something like hands-on, like okay, or is an API, for instance. Maybe I'm trying to use an API or a new framework in my project. So I don't. It's not something that is uh, a core knowledge, right? It's just on how to use something. Let's say, for instance, I'm a software engineer. I'm working, and then I need to add, let's say, Bootstrap to my project. If you don't know Bootstrap, it's just like a web development library. So I could just like, okay, how do I install it in the first place? I can just check a YouTube video that just explains, okay, if you want to use Bootstrap in your video, this is a quick crash course. That's what I need, and then I can pick it up and try to use it. So videos are always good for that. But for core concepts, you can use book, and you can just like use both of them. The most important thing I would say is that just be true to yourself. What will allow you to be productive? That's the most important thing. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Okay, I hope that answer your question. So let's keep the question coming because that is the most important thing. Because that's where. Okay, is it reasonable to learn main stack before learning other programming languages? Oh, okay. So this question is a good question because one of the things that happens to beginners when it comes to web development is that there is so many things calling your attention. It happens to everyone. I think a lot of you have had what we call tutorial hell. So why we add? I want to add one more thing to this. Yeah. So there's the reason why I'm adding. So I had freecodecamp.org is a very good platform, and then I had web.dev. Web.dev is a very amazing platform. Is by Google web teams. They have articles, tutorials on those platforms. Even for our introduction to HTML, we'll be using web.dev for some of the tutorials because web.dev is just so amazing. It's short, simple, precise, and well done. So free code camp is in depth. Like web.dev allow you to get concepts. Free code camp allow you to learn details. You understand? So you can use both of them together. So now this question, is it reasonable to learn main stack before learning the other programming languages? So the idea is this, it's like you are building a house, you build the foundation. You're like, oh, okay, after building the house, let me now build the foundation. That is what, yeah, web.dev. That is what that question is about. Like, and it's very, very wrong way to learn. If you build the house and then you're trying to build the foundation, the house could damage itself and it may be difficult to know. So it's good to build the foundation and then you can build the house on top of it. So main stack, all of this kind of stack are things that I will tell you because you're asking this question because you've had some understanding before. So there are frameworks and stacks that people put together to build, and there are so many of them. Like for me, I don't have an idea of stacks like that. And also for me, the idea I used to tell my mentors is don't think of yourself as a think of yourself as a solution provider, as an engineer, you know, and you are malleable. You can learn new things. You're not stereotypical because that way you have open-mindedness. Like people used to say in React, there's a React code, there is Angular code, there is Ember.js code, there is Vue.js people. So like for me, like I try not to put myself in those boxes because if you put yourself in a box, it's difficult for you to see the good or the need for you to try something new. So so that we don't digress, the idea is that learn the programming language, because all this the stack you may stack together, men or whatever it is, they are all built on the foundation of a programming language. I think main stack is like MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. All these are JavaScript frameworks. So why shouldn't you know JavaScript well before you even start to learn the frameworks that you can use to do all of this magic? And because all of this main stuff, they have a lot of abstraction on top of them. So they do a lot of things for us that we don't even know how they work. We have to use their APIs. But fundamentally, it's just good to understand the core of the language, and then you can go into framework. So it helps you really well also, especially when you face some difficult things, or you need to roll out your own plugins or your own extensions, or you want to build some tools for yourself, and it give you like confidence in yourself, really. So learn the language and then put whatever stacks you like on top of it. Okay, so another question is, can we be asking questions in your inbox if we encounter a problem? Okay, so if you're coding and you have a problem, so I have a video. If you go to my YouTube channel, how to get unstuck, or my YouTube channel, how to get unstuck when you're coding. So when you're coding and you run into a bug, the first thing is not like, oh Peter, let me just send him all of these messages. No, try to solve it. That's the most important way to learn. There are so many ways to go about it. So try calm yourself down, look at the errors you are having. So walk yourself through it. What are you trying to solve? So that's the question first. Like I used to think like even at work, no matter what it says, so there's a task you want to do. The first thing you want to do is that okay, the person that created this thing, what is the problem they are facing? What do they need me to do? So it's not like just like pick a task and just start to code. Even you could waste your time. But if you understand the intention and the why of why these things need to be done, it give you it make it easy for you to solve the problem. So and the same thing is when you're having a bug. So you have to ask why is this bug happening? Uh, what is happening? What am I trying to achieve and stuff like that. So when you collect all of that, if you can't solve it yet, then you look at the documentations of the program you are using. If it's JavaScript, you can look online, you can Google and check. You understand? If you it's not even your phone, you can ask ChatGPT. There's nothing wrong in that. And after that, if you don't get it, and then you can ask a friend. So if you ask a friend that you are learning together, it's good. And but if it's difficult and you can't get anything, you can then ask a mentor like me, like, okay, yeah, Peter, because number one, like you need to be able to like formulate it. You can't be like, oh, Peter, I want to like change the background of my CSS to red from white, but I can't get it. Like that would be something so easy to do. But there could be trivial things like that. But if you have not researched, you won't know that it's not that is not is trivial. So because of that, so that you don't waste people's time by just asking questions and relying on people all the time. So try to use all of these tools. Walk through the problem, get the why, use Google, use ChatGPT sometimes to get the idea. Don't rely on ChatGPT all the time, but just to get like what's the problem, you can give something like, oh, what does this code supposed to do? What is the problem I have? ChatGPT can explain to you, oh, this variable is supposed to be this. This is not working because you are passing this wrong thing. You understand? And then you can walk through that steps. But if it doesn't work, also you can then talk to someone else that could help you. Yeah, but don't just like bombard my emails with help on that. Yeah, I hope that helps. So yeah, that's all of the questions for now. So let's move forward, and then we could ask more questions. I don't want this to pass 1 hour, so that uh we just passed like 30 minutes mark now. Okay, so what exactly is web development? So for some people that are here that like they don't know what web development is about and stuff like that. So web development is basically developing what we're saying right now. You're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, the website. So all of these are websites, right? So the process of developing this web that you can access, facebook.com, google.com, all of those things that make you to be able to access those things are web development. So, and web development itself have like different things, different layers that make all of the things we see on the screen to work together. So we're going to be explaining all of the intricacy of this and how it works. So according to a Wikipedia definition, web development is the work involved in developing a website for the internet or an intranet. So intranet is basically network within an organization that is closed within an organization. Internet is the website that uh, you can see outside, like facebook.com is on the internet, so everyone can be able to see it. So web development can range from developing a simple single static page or a plain text to complex web application. Electronic businesses and social networks, all of these are websites. YouTube, it doesn't matter. We have had like banks websites, a lot of different websites like that are available. So, and also there are, to website development and design, they're always like two stuff, right? We have like web design, then we have like web development. So the core of what we are doing to do during these processes, when we have more people join, is web development. So you're going to be writing your own code by yourself, understanding all of the phases of it. And also we have like web design, that people use tools that are developed by web developers that enable them to now build websites. So you use websites to build websites, right? So like platform like WordPress, Wix, Shopify, all of these platforms allow people to build e-commerce. You don't need to know how to code. So WordPress, you don't need to know how to code. You just get a theme, all of those things. So this thing we call web design. It's like people can put it together, and I know some of you might have this experience where you design websites with WordPress, or you use Wix, or you use some other platform, Framer, that can drag and drop and you can get your website. But web development are actually people that build all of these tools that you see. They build custom applications that do stuff. So that is the place I want to get you guys to, not just like relying on WordPress, Wix, because web development, you can build your own things, custom things that other people can use, things that we have never seen before, new ideas, adaptation of ideas and stuff like that. So even though people can innovate on WordPress and stuff like that, it's good, but sometimes like you are just like limited in the ecosystem of what WordPress gives to you. Depending on unboxing yourself, web development, like you can build things and write your own code without restraint, and that's what we want. So this web development is like divided into like two spaces, like really, yeah, we could say that. So we have the front end development, which we're going to be focusing on in a couple of sessions we're going to be having, and then we have the back end development. So I will give you an example. So front end development is basically what we can interact with on the websites. So like images, videos, link, colors, layouts, all of those things you can see, interactions and stuff like that at the front end development, calling APIs and data and stuff. And then we have backend. These are the things that you see that process huge amount of data behind, talk to databases, create APIs, create services. Like for instance, you want to create a service that upload video, encode that video, all of the services, all of those things, you don't want to do it on user's computer. You want to do it on a computer that is somewhere else, and then do the process and then send the already done work to the users. So that's what the difference is. And there's some people that do like the full stack, like you could do both front end and back end together. And these days we have some back end services that allow people to like focus on their front end, and then you can use the back end service to be able to feed your front end. And also we have platforms that just do both of them together. So for front end, what do you need? You need to learn HTML, you need to CSS, JavaScript. For backend, you need to understand databases, API development, you need to understand services authentications, all of those things, deployment, and also there is DevOps. Those are other aspects also, because there are things that you need to know to be able to put website together. You have the front end, you have the back end, you have the DevOps, how you host your website, how to buy your domain, DNS management, all of those things. So we are going to talk about all of these things so that maybe at the end of that it, or we have like a small project and then you can host it on the free hosting platform and you see how everything works together end to end. And then from there, you can take all of this knowledge and further your learning, you understand? And then you can get an internship or build your own stuff, start your own company, collaborate with other people and stuff like that, depending on what you want to do. Or get a job as a junior software engineer, work remotely wherever you are in the world, and that is my goal for this thing. Like, because the opportunity is there, you just need to be able to be focused to put in the work, and definitely, I think the reward will come. So just like we said, like for web development, we have the HTML, the beginning starts. So that's the fundamentals. Like you need to understand HTML. HTML is hypertext markup language. We are going to The next class is HTML, introduction to HTML, where we're going to show you how hypertext markup language works. We're going to do some live coding demo for you to be able to see how all these things work. And then we're going to do cascade. CSS means cascading style sheet. So CSS is the way you style what you see, the beauty of the website, and JavaScript is for interactive and stuff like that. And we have Node, which you can use for backend development and services and APIs and stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So we also have other frameworks, a library that you can use for web development, right? Like Ruby on Rails. So Ruby is a programming language. So Ruby on Rails is a framework that was built on top of Ruby. So if you need to learn Ruby on Rails, you need to know Ruby, and then you can learn Ruby on Rails. So Ruby on Rails is powerful. It's amazing. Uh, a lot of amazing websites like Shopify use Ruby on Rails, which is great. So I think Twitter also in the early days was built on Ruby on Rails. So we have Python. So a lot of people have dabbled into data analysis, machine learning, AI. You've learned about Python a lot. Python also can be used for web development. It can be used for GUI design and stuff like that. And there is a framework called Django, which I started using in my early days when I was starting web development. Django is really versatile. Like you can use Django to build full stack web applications. So I mean, you can build the front end and the back end in the same code base using Django, and it's really powerful. And even you can use Django to build your APIs back end alone, and then you build a front end with some other programming stuff. So also we have Java, which is like the enterprise kind of stuff. So yeah, for me, I will say that just go with JavaScript. JavaScript, why? Because JavaScript can do both front end and back end. It's very versatile. JavaScript and Node, you can both full stack, you can do backend, you can do cloud, you can do serverless, you can do like a lot of things with JavaScript. So I highly recommend for the purpose of this and for learning, JavaScript is good, and the opportunity in JavaScript is so huge. But that doesn't mean if you know JavaScript, you shouldn't learn Python and stuff. I used to do Python, like I have an idea of Pythons, even though I don't use it on a daily basis. But yeah, I still have it in my arsenal, and you can pick it up. So you can pick up any other language you want. So I've tried Ruby on Rails also. Yeah, when I was in the uh, yeah, I went to a software engineering school where we did full Ruby on Rails course, and which is really great. Okay, so now let's talk about tools and stuff. So some of the tools that you need. So I'll want you to like write these down. So because of our next conversation, we are going to use some of these tools, and I want you to have it on your system already. So if you don't have these tools, have it. So it's free, open source. So just uh, Google VS Code. I'll add it to the screen here. So VS Code is an IDE. As I would say tools. So VS Code, github.com, create an account there. I think that's it. And then web browser. You already have a web browser already, so you can see that those are everything we need to get started in web development. So you need a VS Code. VS Code is an IDE. So VS Code is an IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. So it allows you to be able to write your code in a way that it help you, it give you insight. You see it when we go to the introduction to HTML. You see how we can use it to organize our code. It's like when you want to do a presentation, you use PowerPoint. When you want to write a book or a story or something, you use Microsoft Word or whatever. So for code, you need something to write code to. So that's why we use an IDE called VS Code. So the second thing is the version control, right? Version control, like GitHub, is where you can store your code for reference purposes. So if you don't have a GitHub account, it's free. Try and open one today. GitHub.com. Go to GitHub.com and open a GitHub account. Uh, yeah, just open it. It's free. So I will explain a little bit better on how we use GitHub and stuff. So GitHub is like a social platform for codes. So which is really interesting. So when you're on GitHub, you meet a lot of other programmers, open source projects, and things like that you can learn from. It's like a library of code where you can learn a lot of things. So especially for beginner, is a breadth of opportunity because you can see how amazing software engineers are writing their code and you can learn from them. Yes, just type VS Code on Google and then you'll be able to download. It'll show you where to download. You don't need to register for VS Code. It's free, just download. It doesn't matter what your operating system is, it's going to give you the option. So VS Code was built by open source by Microsoft. If you know, if you write ASP.NET in the past, you know that Microsoft owns Visual Studio. So Visual Studio, they minimized Visual Studio into VS Code, like a free version, and it has become so popular among software engineers around the globe. So try VS Code is the platform. So for JavaScript, HTML, CSS, even if you can use it to write Python, whatever programming language, it supports it, and it's amazing. And in our next class, I will show you around on VS Code, and we'll use it to write our HTML and see how all of them work. And also the terminal VS Code comes with its own terminal, so you can use VS Code terminal. I'll show you how to use it. And any operating system is just your computer, right? Either you're using Linux, you're using Mac OS or Windows, you are fine. So either PC or Mac. So and then we have hosting server. So there are several hosting servers you can use. So I'll show us some of them: AWS, Google Cloud, Amazon Azure, domain service, Namecheap, only Hostinger, all of these domain platforms. So you understand. So there are even free ones where you can get like free domain to just experiment and practice. So, and that is the advantage of web. There's just so many free things out there that you can use to practice, to be able to develop your skills until you are confident enough to like, okay, I want to start applying for a job. Even when you're applying for a job for interviews, there's so many platforms that will help you for interview preparations, question and answers. There's so many communities. So just take advantage of that. Don't be scared. And the advantage of being a beginner is that don't be afraid to ask questions. Like no one knows everything, and that is the joy I have even at my place of work. The joy of that you don't know, and people are willing to help you. You understand? So that's the point. So don't feel like because I don't know, I have to hide and pretend like I know. You don't have to. It's okay not to know. It's a blessing even if you accept that you don't know, because people can help you much more easily. You understand? So don't fake like I know and like I'm a techie you and you're suffering with things that you don't know. And so just be open to things you don't know. And let's like I like the idea of learning in public. Like, oh, I don't know how these things work. There's so many people that will help you. No one will laugh at you. No one will at least as I know the tech community is very friendly because everyone is learning. You understand? So in as much as you don't come like you are master of everything, like if you are humble and you ask in humility, people will definitely help you or point you to the right direction for you to grow. So the ecosystem, definitely, like I said, I've shared like a lot of resources already. Like MDN is the amazing resources. MDN is like a Bible for every web developer. MTN, so MDN means Mozilla Developer Network. So I want you to bookmark that website on your computer. As a web developer, that should be like a source of truth for you. Every web APIs, every programming languages, references, and everything is on Mozilla, and it's quite updated. Mozilla is an NGO, so which is really great. They built the Firefox browser, so they've been like a very strong pillar for web community and stuff. Bring everybody together, which is really really great. So check Mozilla MDN. You don't even need to sign up. MDN, you see everything: web, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node. Even they have React and all of those things. So they have all of those resources there. And also number two, Free Code Camp. Like I said, Free Code Camp is amazing. So use it. And also we have Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is great where you can ask questions, you can respond to questions and stuff, which is really great. And also we have Google Developer Network. Google Developer Network is all over the world. They are online, they are local chapters. So try and join these platforms. They are there to help you. You understand? Join them because when you are in the community of the people that you want to become, it makes it much more easier for you to attain that knowledge. You understand? So Google Developer Network is great. There is Facebook Developer Network also. They have it all across campuses, communities, and hubs and stuff. There are some online, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. Join them. Python community also amazing. So don't say because you are learning JavaScript, you don't want to join Python community. You can join it. Why I love Python community is that it's very very accessible. Like whatever I've become in software engineering today, Python community was one of the encourager for me. And also, don't be scared to teach what you know. Also, that is the idea of community because a lot of us as beginners, we feel like, oh, what can I do what can I contribute? There's something you can contribute. Like a lot of the what I teach you today, you could go back and write them down, put them into an article and share. There are some people that don't even know half of what you've known today. So that is a reference point for you to give back and for you to reinforce because when you want to learn something, you teaching other people that thing make you to learn even much easier. You understand? So in Python community in Nigeria, I was one of the early founders of Python Nigeria, and I volunteered. I remember when we started when the first Django girls in Nigeria. I was one of the volunteers that teach Django web development. I even fly myself from Abuja to Lagos without being paid. So, and also after that event, my first international opportunity came through Django Con in Florence, which they give me scholarship for all expense paid, because of my contribution. So contribution to community is good, even because of now, like after you learn, you want to get job and things like that. This community awards are going to help you because you meet people from other places of works, meetups, you build your network. By the time you are ready for job, you can easily get references and people that can recommend you for this job. So don't learn in isolation. Don't say because it doesn't matter where you are. There are a lot of these programs happening even online these days, meetups online. Join the meetups, contribute, ask questions. You understand? Don't be upset, put yourself out there. And I've seen some of my mentee that got opportunity while they were learning, and even the company paid for their courses and give them the job on standby. So organizations are looking for people that want to work, that want to contribute, that they can trust. So if you make yourself available and you show the confidence, it make it easier for people to invest in you. You understand? So that is the most important thing. So make yourself available, build the network. Even it's much more easier these days. Networking, because trust is really scarce. But with networking, you can build that trust, you can build that image that people can be able to recommend you much more easily. So this meeting definitely is going to be recorded. After this, you can watch it on LinkedIn, I think, and then on my YouTube channel. So just type Peter Ayeni on YouTube. this will be there after today, definitely. All right, so Django Con also places. So I'll just rush through now. Yeah, I think that's it for today, definitely. Yeah, I didn't want to pass the 1 hour mark, but I'm happy I'm able to answer like a lot of the questions that we have. But this is the end for today. But we are going to have another one. I'm going to announce the date very soon, so don't miss it. The next one, we are going to set up our GitHub. I'm going to go more into how GitHub works and why. I'm going to go into your VS Code that you downloaded today, how to use it effectively, and then we are going to write some code, HTML, of course. What is HTML? What is semantic HTML? Why HTML? Understanding HTML. HTML is easy to understand, and you can get a brief of it in like 30 minutes. We write some samples and stuff like that, and you see how to write code, organize files, and how to architect simple web applications. Just that you have the idea. And if you have some time, we'll go a little bit into domain registration, servers registration, because these are the things like I want you to get started and you have something on the web. So the next class, we are going to build something. It doesn't matter how simple it is, and then we are going to host it that day. So you too will be able to host and just put something on the web, you know, for the first time with your own code, and then you can continue to evolve and develop on it. So the next class, because I can't put a day on it right now, but I will announce it on my LinkedIn on YouTube. Definitely, you guys will see that. So if you want to get, uh, maybe if you are worried, maybe you will miss it or you will not get the information. I will share my Substack. So if you just subscribe to my Substack, I normally share all the news there so that you can. Yeah, so I'll just so peteriany.substack.com. So check there. But if you're following me on LinkedIn, definitely you say I'll put it there. So, but it won't be late. I don't want this to take a long time. So I want us to do it back to back, back to back, back to back, so that the knowledge stick and you can continue to use it quickly. So it won't take so long, but I just need to be able to look at uh, my calendar and stuff. So yeah, so that is it. So another thing I'll just say that we have 3 minutes to go. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. So everybody is learning. We are all learners, right? So don't think that I have to be scared. I'm scared. I'm worried. People laugh at me and things like that. So don't be scared. So uh, just put your mind to it. You understand, and keep going. Keep learning, and definitely the opportunity in the web ecosystem is huge. Even if you don't want to get a job, you want to be an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, whatever you want to do, coding knowledge will help you. It will help you in your work. If you're a researcher, a teacher, a musician, no matter what you do, coding knowledge will be very helpful to you. You understand? So that is the idea. So subscribe to my Substack and follow me on LinkedIn, and then I'll share the next. Uh, okay, there's this one question: is there a difference between Python and Node.js? So the only difference that is between Python and Node.js is that Python is a Python programming language, and Node.js is JavaScript. You understand? So there are two different programming languages. So Python is a language, but Node.js is a framework. You understand? So for building server in JavaScript. You understand? So that's the difference. So Python is a programming language. Node.js is also a language, but APIs built on top of JavaScript. So I hope that helped. But yeah, so but that's it. I hope that helped you. So all right. So I think that's it, everyone. So I don't want us to pass the 1 hour mark. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Share with everyone, definitely, when the recording is there. Share with those people that would need this. And yeah, so Peter Ayeni Substack. So subscribe to Peter Ayeni Substack. That is it, and you get all of the updates that you need for the upcoming one. And keep learning. See